there's a little bit of difficulty in that the two sides are warring over Patricia, but the gist of Greg Kelley's actual innocence isn't Patricia's performance. And there's been some awareness about Greg's case because of some of the people who come out on the sidewalks. But I've seen more than a few exonerations since I've been out. And I have never seen exoneration decided on the sidewalk. They're all decided in the courthouse. And so that's what counts. And that's where we need to pay attention.
Quickly, talk about the statement that you released. You briefly mentioned some of, your thoughts, but it kind of went into the fact that, Patricia is one who, looks over everything and, really involved in making sure that everything's correct.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that Patricia agonizes over every ethical issue obsessively, which to me that's been my personal experience, and that's her reputation. And so it makes these charges even more crazy. But I think we all have examples in this county of someone with a sterling track record who steps in it and everything blows up. The difference in this case from that sort of situation is that I was there when Patricia was going through these things. And that is one of the odd things about the hearing we had today. The conflict of interest issue is actually tied up in her trial strategy, because you had to decide which way to go. There are only so many ways you can argue one of those cases. And Patricia, it's quite a phrase, it's in her DNA. She is going to be ethical. She is going to be above board, and she's going to serve her client as best she can. And when you're in a case, well, any case, my case for instance, which reflects on all cases, you're defending yourself against the state. And unless you're Bill Gates, you have a limited amount of money, you have finite resources. And you have to decide, the defense attorney's job is to defend against the allegations. Now, do you want to separate some of your money, some of your ability to defend yourself, and go out and investigate the case, reinvestigate it? Because you don't have powers to subpoena, you can't arrest anybody, you can't get a lab like they have here in the state or in this county. And so you have to wonder, do you do that when you have finite resources to defend somebody? Don't you want to put everything into defending against the allegations, not coming up with an alternate theory or a different who's got the resource to reinvestigate a case? It's just crazy.
How have you counseled Greg Kelley as he's been going through this process?
The only so-called counseling I've done with Greg Kelley was after his conviction. One of my few areas of expertise is TDC. So I told him pretty much what to expect, where he was going to go, what he was going to see, what he should do, and most importantly, what he shouldn't do. And that's pretty been the limit of our communication. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal expert. I don't tell him how to conduct his defense, but I'm one of the few people around who has an inkling of what it's like to be in his shoes. It's a tough time for him, and it's really easy to latch on to the last thing you've heard, even when it's contradictory. He's a young guy, he's in a rough spot, and everybody around him has been involved in this world a lot longer than he's been in it. He's a newbie, and his life is hanging in the balance of what they do and what they don't do.
What is your hope for him?
My hope for Greg is that he gets out. I've talked to him, I've looked at the case. The state didn't make the case. I think he's innocent of this case, these charges. I'd love to see him out and starting over. That's all you can hope for anybody who's been wrongly accused and convicted and done any time down there. Because that place will change you, especially if you're a young man.
That's what I was going to say, is that especially the case for you, knowing that he's only served a number of years and you yourself served more than 2 decades?
No, the amount of time we've served isn't the big deal. The big deal to me is that he's so young. there's a reason the Marine Corps won't take you after 26. Greg's a young guy and he's impressionable. Every young guy's impressionable. And penitentiary will change you. It will put its mark on you. Especially if you're young, in ways that you cannot imagine. So, I'm hoping he gets out from under that.